Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good today. Oh, my badgers are taking a nap. Let me fix them. Hope everybody's doing good today. This is Katrina. This is the live chat for Sow and Tare. We do this every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So, welcome. Please keep your comments family friendly, and I'm going to start by going through the comments, and then once we get into it, we can, if you guys have questions, ask questions. We can talk about different discussion topics, and then partway through, I'll have a pre-planned topic of discussion, and then we can get back to talking what you guys want to talk about. So, welcome. Let me scroll up. All right. Let's see. Hey, Aaron's here. Guess I'll take second. Ed, that's hard to beat. Yeah, Ed, it's not on here anymore, Ed. But I did see that Ed logged on at 3-something in the morning this morning for his first comment. So there you go. I think that's about the same time I put up the link. There you go. Welcome. Dawn's here. She's third. Welcome, Dawn. Joy is here. Hello, all from Western Oregon. Hello, Joy. Truck 3 Warden, evening from Wisconsin. Good evening. Hey, Vase Place is here. It's Verna. She is my moderator. You'll see her in blue. And she also has a YouTube channel. She does lives on Saturday mornings. She says, evening, Aaron, Dawn, Joy, and Truck 3. I was the sixth like. You guys are keeping track. Everybody saying hi. Landry Little Farm, we here. Good evening. Good evening, Brad. Dawn saying hi. Everybody saying hi. I don't need to say hi for you guys. You guys say hi to each other. Hey, Steve's here. Sorry I can't be here for the live. Oh, well, thanks for popping by. All right, people saying hi. Dawn's saying, Steve, you're here now. Yeah. Vase Place put 6 hours into her cookbook today, so she will have that available on the MyShire website, and I don't know when that's coming out. Verna's, when is that coming out? Let us know. And see. Dawn says that sounds like a good amount of work on the cookbook. Yep. Hey, Gidrew's Urban Homestead's here. Hey, friends. Hello. Andy Rabbit's here. Hello. Everybody say hi. Dawn says, I took the babies off heat. It got down to 33 degrees, and they did fine, like Verna told you, because they were enclosed at night. Awesome. We went the other direction today. Joy says, I'm drilling and blowing eggs while I lurk. Oh, awesome. What are you going to do with them? You going to do some fun things? There's lots of things you can do with those eggs. All right. Yeah, and Dawn is asking if you're going to color the eggs to Joy. Andy Rat saying, hey, guys. Vase Place says, Yepers, it will come out as soon as I'm done. LOL, hopefully by this coming weekend. Awesome. Andy Rabbit says, my bubblegum machine. I think I'll fill it with colored eggs now. Oh, I wonder if they would come out. If you could fill them with something harder, like a foam, and then you'd be able to get your egg. Not sure what you're doing with them, Joy. That's okay. It's okay. You can have a craft pile. Hey, Vase Place, little incubator goes into lockdown tomorrow. Good luck, Verna. Good luck. Hey, PJ's is here. Hello, all. Hi, PJ. Welcome. Dawn says, Katrina, we have been the opposite direction ever since Saturday. In the 80s, inside the bird cages open up. I have fans and baths for them now. Yeah, so today it was supposed to get up to 75. it got up to 83. That's a little different. And I mean, I know that, a weather forecaster is the only job you can be wrong every single day of your job and still have a job. But that's quite a bit different. We moved the baby bunnies into their double-decker hutch into the screen and porch yesterday, and so they were all laid out all over the place in there. At least they had the cat, but they still cuddle in the heat. I don't know why. They just do. Yeah. But yeah, 83 was not what I was expecting today. In fact, I think it's still in the 70s. Actually, it looks like it says 70 right now. Outside. All right. That would be cute, Don says, about your bubblegum machine. 63 at Vay's place. Don says, that's great. I am setting more eggs Friday morning. Good luck. Good luck. I have eggs coming from Cali Quail Keepers. I think she sent them today. So they should be coming, I think Wednesday is when they should arrive. So looking forward to that. And I will set some jumbos with those from my own. Yeah. Landry says, we have y'all weather and y'all have ours. I mean, I'm in California and it's not usually 83 in the beginning of April, but I'm hoping that it's not super warm this summer like it was last summer. Well, hot, not warm. It was beyond warm. It was hot. Yeah. Faceplay says Little Giant goes into lockdown a week later. Wow, you're busy. You're busy. Hopefully you'll get everything back up to your numbers where they used to be. That's awesome, Verna. Dawn wants to know from Andy Rabbit how many baby bunnies you have. We have 14. There is 10 from Meatball and 4 from Tortellini. Those are names of mama bunnies. And they should be pregnant, and nest boxes will go in this week. They'll probably give birth next week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I'm hoping the temps don't get too warm, because I was wanting to do one more batch after these guys are born, but we'll see what happens. Andy Rabbit says my bubblegum machine won't drop gumballs out, so the eggs would be safe. All right. PJ says our temps are scheduled to climb to the 80s by end of weekend. Wow. Yeah, we were supposed to be, the highest we were supposed to get this week is 77. I don't know what it's going to be now. It's ridiculous. 83 is ridiculous. Andy Rabbit says, I had another litter of baby rabbits today. Congratulations. Congratulations. Dawn says it's 73 outside right now here. Aaron says, I'm still here listening. I'm trying to conduct quail business at the same time. Keep on trying, Aaron. Vase Place is saying wonderful to Andy Rabbit. And which types? Blood oranges are tiny. Blood oranges are tiny? Blood oranges shouldn't be tiny. They should be like that big. Did you buy blood oranges? It has a very interesting flavor. Blood oranges are named blood oranges because they have red inside of them, but they don't always have red inside of them. I have a neighbor who has a blood orange. I'm not, like, it's not my favorite flavor because it's like a little too much on the tart side, but her tree is very interesting. Some of the fruits have the red inside and some don't. So I'm not sure if that's a heat driven thing or what. How warm is too warm to get baby bunnies? Dawn says. I believe most male rabbits go like temporary sterile at like 85 degrees. I don't know how long it has to be 85 degrees before that happens, but yeah. I don't know. I know that's probably what happened at the beginning of the fall when I started breeding them, is I probably bred them too soon because it was pretty warm. And, you waste a month then because then they don't have babies, because he's shooting blanks. But yeah, so I think 83 is what, or 80. I said 83 because I saw 83 right here. I think it's 85 for most bucks. I know there are like Tumuk rabbits. I think the big white ones with their, I believe they're New Zealand whites that are specifically bred for heat. So I don't know what the difference is with them, but yeah, there you go. Let's see. Andy Rabbit says the litter is Rex lion heads. Oh gosh, Don, I think I'm up to 56 baby rabbits today. Wow. Cool. Hey, JJ's here. Hi, all. Hi, JJ. Land Use Farm says 83 is cold for us. In August, we usually have 90 to 100 plus degrees with 100% humidity. I'm talking about 83 today, April the 10th. Yeah. We got up to 115 here last year. We got up to that a few times. And we had way more days above 100 than we ever needed. I don't know if I think it was a record breaking year. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, Vase Place bought a 3-pound bag. These are black inside. Yeah. So like, so dark red that they're black. Yeah. There is a reason why they're darker or lighter, and I don't know what it is. I think I read it a long time ago. I don't know if it was like heat or sun exposure or something else, but there is a reason, and I don't recall. Dawn's saying Andy Rabbit, now that's a ton of rabbits. So many baby bunnies. Awesome. Yes, I think that's awesome too. You better count next week. You don't know? You don't know? Oh boy. Everybody say hi, JJ. Dawn says, ha, they go sterile before tomato. I am growing heat tolerant tomatoes this year. So I expect to have a wonderful tomato harvest, and I'm going to can up so many tomatoes, and it will be wonderful. That is my expectation. Yeah. Hey, Ed. Ed was the first one here. Good evening, everyone. Just finished watching anime with wife. All righty. Well, welcome, Ed. Welcome. And everybody saying hi to Ed. PJ says, my pigs are due to start farrowing tomorrow. Have goose eggs in the incubator. 7 are developed. Awesome. Awesome. I've never had a goose egg, but I've eaten goose, and that is tasty. Good luck with everything. Yeah, Verna says Tumucks can handle the heat. Yeah. Hey, Callie's here. Calico Keepers. It's Brooke. What is good, everybody? It was nice and warm today. How warm did it get there, Brooke? It got 83 here. So that was a surprise. It was only supposed to get up to 75. But welcome, welcome. Everybody saying hi. Andy says, I breed my rabbits for heat. So, Andy, you said that. I know you said that before. How do you choose your rabbits for heat? Yeah, that's a good question. Brooke says, I only like blood orange in preserves. I've never had it in preserves. Yeah. Feather Connections Homestead. Hey, I'm here. Brooke, I found my phone. Haha. Were you losing your phone? Oh. Hi, Kelly. Welcome. Kelly, I tried to email you today and it bounced back. So I don't know what email you have. It was just basically that Utah, she's in Utah, that Utah snow like did a record. There was some data. Anyway, yeah. Hey, everybody saying hi. Dawn says the strangest thing ever is our humidity was 26 or 28%, so it feels kind of cold with the wind. Yeah, humidity does some interesting things, and I am glad to not live in a very humid place. Yeah. The only time I lived in a humid place was when I was in my undergrad. I was in Iowa, and then I lived in Illinois for a little bit, and I think I'm done with humidity. I remember playing volleyball. I played volleyball in college, and the floors, I had never experienced this before. The gym floors, there would just be areas of the court that you couldn't go on because it was slippery for no reason. Just because the air decided that the floor was going to be slippery that day. Yeah. There we go. Base Play says, I ate 2 blood oranges. Now my stomach is acting up. They're about the size of mandarin oranges. They are tiny then. Yeah, those are tiny because blood oranges, I mean, they're not like the huge navel orange, but they're like that big. They should be. Hopefully you're feeling better. Maybe it's too acidic. I don't know. Hopefully you're feeling better. JJ's saying hi to everyone. Good to see everyone. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Brooke, if you would like to update us about your hand, that would be great. If not, that is fine. And we all wish you well. Those of us that know what happened. Kelly's saying hi to Babe's Place. Hey, baby. Oh, it'll be a while. Workers' comp. Yeah, slow. Yeah, injuries and workers' comp. Keep doing salt baths and moving, massaging. Hope you're doing good. JJ says, I need to find tiny tomatoes that are truly tiny. My cherry tom get bigger every year. JJ, look on Living Traditions Homestead, and he planted what he said was the smallest cherry tomato he could find. And I don't remember what kind it was, but he did that this year. So look up Living Traditions Homestead and like smallest tomato or something like that, and it should come up. I don't know. I just know that he did that this year. Andy Rabbit says, Katrina, I don't fully count the litters till their eyes open. Okay. Then you got to count the eyes and divide by 2. I've only had one baby have nest box eye, and it was pretty easy to fix. It was just stuck shut with the little crusties, and I just used some warm water and worked at it. And it did have like a funky eyelash thing, so like it was going back instead of down. It was like going back into the eye, so I did have to wipe at it a little bit, but like a couple days to kind of train those eyelashes to go the right way. It still was never like right, but I mean, it could see, and the eye was open. It was fine. But yeah, it doesn't take that long at all to do that. I have heard of them getting stuck more than that, but I wish you luck in all the open eyes. Brooke says 78. Oh my, too hot here. There. Yeah, 83. So it was supposed to be 75. It's supposed to be 77. I haven't actually checked to see after today if they adjusted that or not. But yeah. Aaron has a suggestion for JJ. Try spoon tomatoes. I have heard of these. I tend not to like the tiny ones because they just take longer to pick. And with cherry tomatoes, you're going to have a bunch to pick from. My standard was Sweet 100, and that is the descendants of which, the descendants of Sweet 100, which is a hybrid, is what is in my yard. And so something comes up every year that's a cherry tomato. Now I say that it's probably not going to come up. But what I like to do with those is I like to cut them in half and put them on the dehydrator and have them dehydrated, and I can use them in like soups and eggs even. Like if you're doing an egg dish, you can start them in with some moisture first. I like them better after they've been dehydrated, but not like as a crunchy snack, but after they've been dehydrated, and then you can rehydrate them. And you can even rehydrate them in like broth. It gives it more flavor. So it's fun. But that was my go-to. I did one time have, I don't know if this was a real variety or if this was like a sales pitch variety, but it's a blueberry cherry tomato. And it was the anthocyanins. I'm not saying that word correctly. The things that make the plant turn purple. It has that, but it only turns purple if it's in the sunlight. And that is the only tomato that I actually took out. It was a terrible, terrible tasting tomato. And the only reason why I actually took it out all the way is I tried making salsa with it. I tried to like it, and it didn't work. But I didn't want it to reseed because I know cherry tomatoes are so good at that. Yeah. Base Place is saying good way to do it, Andy. Oh, to count until their eyes are open. Andy Rabbit says that way I know if they are fully healthy. Okay. And you guys just jumped. You jumped. Come back. JJ says, thank you, Aaron. Looking into it right now. Awesome. Kelly says, did she say she wanted? I did email you, Kelly. And I just typed in it's probably the no reply one. It's okay. I can email you later. It was weather related. That was all. You had snow. Andy Rouse says, Katrina, for starters, I don't keep winter-born rabbits. Okay. Hey, Jasmine's here. Time and Timber Homestead. Hello, friends. Hello, Jasmine. Welcome. People are saying hi to you. Dawn says, I'm in Illinois, and it's never this low when it's hot outside. Oh, the humidity is never that low. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But is it usually that hot this early is the other question. So maybe it's the humidity that's normal and the heat's the thing that's weird. I don't know. Brooke says, let's talk record snowfall in Cali. Epic. Looking forward to long fishing season, but salmon season was canceled. So sad. Yeah, we had so much snow. There was the snow report that I was trying to send to Kelly. It was basically, I got an email. I get emails through USDA. I just give it to my work email just to keep up with other things, but this also has snow reports and stuff like that. And so I got one for California record breaking and I got one for Utah record breaking. And I'm like, oh, I can send this to someone. But yeah, we definitely, there are a lot of reservoirs that are all filled up or almost or nearly so that have not seen water in a long time in California. Yeah, we got a lot of moisture in the ground, which is good. We like this. And I know nothing about the salmon season. I'm not a fisher person. I know that Sacramento River had issues with salmon last year. They had a big die-off. So that might actually, I don't know, Brooke, do you know if that was a result of the die-offs last year and recovery from that, or if it was something to do with the snow this year? Because I know that there were whole streams that they suspected almost all fish were dead in because of the heat, the record heat. They are a cold water fish. That's why. Oh, Verna, I'm sorry. Doesn't like citrus acid. Citrus acid. I'm sorry. Well, hopefully you can get some soon. Kelly's saying, Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. Hope your farm is doing great. Yes. I think we all hope that. Ed says Baker Creek has orange hat tomatoes that grow on a flower pot or spoon tomatoes that you can fit like 10 tomatoes in a spoon. I've seen these. I think they're called like micro tomatoes. Is that right? I think of those as mostly for people that are growing indoors or in small spaces. But I can't imagine like there'd be like little tiny berries. Yeah. um, Andy Rabbit says 3. Oh, did I miss number 2? 2. There we go. Um, Number 2 was I don't give ice bottles or anything else in the heat other than shade and airflow. So that's for breeders, not for the babies. Hopefully, I will probably continue to give them bottles. um, yeah, that's a good tip though. You're basically just weeding out the ones that don't make it, is what it sounds like. Yeah. Number 3, I only want a summer born buck. I have a few bucks that don't go heat sterile. Okay, so they're more likely to not go heat sterile if they're born in the summer. That's interesting. Okay, that is awesome. Those are good tips, and you'll probably have to repeat them for me when I'm ready for knowing these things again. I agree with Verna. That is wonderful. Yeah. Don says Baker Creek has orange hat tomatoes. They're awesome little plants with tiny oranges full of flavor. 9-inch tall plants that just get loaded with tomatoes. All right, that's the second vote for that one. Sounds good. Baseplay says, yeah, too tiny and they are nothing but skin. Yeah, that's what I was wondering is like for a tomato, I want a tomato. And for this, they can get too small. Hey, Aaron's back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. JJ says, hubby said, say no quail inside, so I put them outside. Then he said, they're still babies and cold tonight with raccoons, possum, and fox. So I brought them inside. We built a small shelter this week. Well, that's one way. Is he falling in love with them? Yeah. Sounds like you're doing the right way. Andy says, I clean the eyes if needed, but any that ever get nest box eye goes to freezer camp. I see it as splayed legs. Yeah, so it's something that you don't use for a breeder. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, my first choosing of breeders happened this winter. So, whoops, winter. But we'll see how they do, and hopefully they do well. Yeah, because I've not done that before. All of my current breeders were already adults when I got them. Don is saying, JJ, that's great. Yeah. Time and Timber, Jasmine says, my dad loves the blueberry tomatoes, LOL. And it may not be the same blueberry tomato, because that's the thing about these names is that sometimes they're like actual names, and then sometimes they're like names to sell something. So I don't know. JJ says he has big bark but the heart of gold. That's good. Talks tough but has a heart of gold. Yeah. That's funny. Aaron says, Jasmine, I need a goat. You think she has extra? I don't know. I think she likes her goats. Andy Rabbit says, I had primrose tomato one year. It was the best tomato ever. I can't find it anymore. Do you know where you got it from? I've never heard of that. Reds here says, need tips for something safe for my animals that I can spray around the yard to get rid of poison ivy, weeds, etc. A goat. That is what you need. You need a goat or pigs. That's what you need. Here's your prescription. Yeah, no, that's what I would do. If you have an issue with that, you might not want to buy them. That's fine. There are people who will rent out their goats and do brush maintenance and stuff like that. So That's what I would suggest. And if anybody lives near you that has goats, maybe you could say, hey, I'll feed your goats for a month for free. And maybe they'll buy it. you provide the fencing, I'll provide the food. Come on over. Yeah, that's my prescription. Dawn says, Katrina, it does get this hot normally, even random days in March. Okay. Tommy Dimmer says, yes, you do, Aaron, but you can't have just one. So I will set aside 2 for you. LOL. Oh, you're getting Jasmine's goats. Yeah, see, Verna's saying the same thing, Brad. You don't need a spray, you need goats. They love it. There you go. Oh, Dawn is asking Andy, was a yellow primrose tomato? I've never heard of any sort of primrose tomato. Interesting. Oh, that was the name of it, I think, Jasmine. She says, has anyone tried the Tom Thumb micro cherry tomatoes? I think that might be what Living Traditions Homestead planted this year. Like he did like the biggest tomato and the smallest tomato, and I think that might be it. The answer is no from here, but you might look it up on his. I don't think he's put any. I mean, they're just now getting to planting, so nothing's produced yet. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says my orange tree is getting flowers on it. Yes, and isn't it a lovely smell? My citrus are also blooming. They, I believe, are very very iron deficient right now. I think because they just got tons and tons of water and things got washed away. So I have some I don't know why I keep on saying nitrogen. Some iron pellets put out there, and it does take a while for them to get into the system. But I do have that out there. Hopefully they'll take up these nutrients soon. Landry says they eat poison ivy. Yes, they do. My yard isn't fenced in yet. I don't know if my neighbors would like that. See, you could rent goats, and they usually come with electric fencing and a person. Well, the person's not going to be there all the time. But yeah, there's goats, there's whole goat herds. I don't know how it works in the Midwest, but here there are goat herds that travel, and the goats didn't get paid. They get paid in food. But the shepherds get paid. Basically they eat for fire control, and they eat for noxious weeds. So there are goats that control, like knapweed is a highly invasive weed from Eurasia somewhere, like most weeds are. And I like how we just take 2 things and put them together and call it Eurasia. But they will actually get paid to have their goats go up to Oregon, like California goats or Oregon goats. There's a lot of goat herds that go back and forth between the states. In Oregon, they go up there for the summer, and then for the winter, they come here, because here is when things are growing, and fire control. They want to eat things down so that you don't get to the fire level, the fuel loads, and they'll be here, and then in certain times of year they go up to Oregon and then come back. And there's goats that can actually be trained for certain noxious weeds, and there's a whole thing on how to do that I know about this much of it. There's some interesting practices that people do to get goats to eat these things. But the idea behind that is a goat system is the digestive system is pretty rough on seeds. And most seeds that go through their system come out and they cannot germinate at that point. So there you go. There's a little lesson on goats. And yeah, so fire management, fields management, and poison oak, poison ivy. So poison oak and poison ivy, we like primates are the only ones that are allergic to it, which is ridiculous, right? It's just ridiculous. But it's true. So not everybody is allergic to it. However, we're the only ones. There you go. JJ says, I wish we could rent ducks to get snails and slugs out of the garden and goats to get rid of brambles and poison ivy. Regulations don't allow it. Regulations don't allow the renting process, or don't allow them to come in and like for those to be on your property. I mean, if you're like in town, that might be something, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why everybody's against everything with self-sufficiency and doing things in the right way. Like, you can hire someone to cut down everything and rip out everything, but it's not going to do as good a job as a goat, and they're not going to do it all day. Yeah. Verna says, usually I can eat oranges but can't drink orange juice. Interesting. Guess I can't eat these. They will go to the cooey. They're okay with citrus. Okay. Yeah, blood oranges are more acidic than regular oranges. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, no, Dawn, it was a blue or purple. The tomato she's talking about. JJ says, Jasmine, I'm going to look into those too. You're into little tomatoes, huh? Get a whole bunch, see which ones you like, and see if they'll self-sow. There may be a yellow variety, Dawn. There may be different varieties. Yeah. Baseplace is saying, JJ, you may want to talk to a farmer near you that can rent out the goats for landscaping. Yeah, it might all be in the name too, right? It might be Landscapings or Us or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it only makes sense instead of using poison. Exactly. And it's eaten and it's gone. It's off the property. It's not going to get you. Don't pet the goats. You do have goats getting into your poison ivy, and they are eating it for you. Don't go over and pet them because you're going to get poison ivy. That's a warning, right? Dawn says, you gave me an idea. If I rent a goat or a chicken, I bet the township can't make me get rid of it. I don't know how that works. Good luck. That's what I'm going to say. Brooke says, water's too warm here in the Delta. They is the salmon. They need to travel from the bay to higher ideal gravel areas successfully to spawn. Not to mention the ladder's taken out. Yeah. And I happen to know about a project in Sacramento that is going to be doing some things. Yeah, fish ladders are important. For those that don't know what we're talking about, a fish ladder. That sounds ridiculous, right? Fish don't climb ladders. Yes, they do. In areas that have dams that have like drops, or in some areas that don't even have that, and people have changed the river system so that it has drops and the fish can't get upstream to spawn, which is basically to breed and lay their eggs. They have made like a step of pools, and the fish will literally climb stair steps of pools of water until they get up to the top, and that's called a fish ladder. In lots of places, there are actually areas that are buildings with glass. I don't know if a lot or not, but I know this is on the Columbia River. But there's glass, and all these fish have to pass through this area if they're going upstream, because there's no other option. They don't fly up. Flying fish don't fly. And so they pass through, and so that's where a lot of the fish counting happens. So they'll have someone that's down there and counting fish that go by. What is it? Sometimes there's a sea lion or whatever. And then they also have like ping stations, and so fish that are tagged with a pit tag, they get red as they go through that station, because they know they're going to go through this narrow area and they're going to catch those fish. Not physically catch them, but they're going to catch the tag. It's an electronic scanning, basically. and so they can keep track of these animals. So it's pretty cool. There we go. Tangent. That's what we do here. Yeah, so Verna's back to the goats saying they do eat poison ivy, weeds, brambles, and will trim your trees. Yeah, so goats will stand up on their back feet and trim your trees. I've also seen goats in trees that climb. So those that have goats will know better if that is a species, if that is a breed that does that, or if all of them do that. But I know I've seen pictures of that. Dawn says, I would be growing more orange hat tomatoes all the time, but hubby won't touch any cherry tomatoes. Try dehydrating them and rehydrating them in, like, you can do it in a quiche or in a broth or something like that. Because I'm somewhat the same way, where cherry tomatoes, they're just they're not great fresh, but once they've been dried and I can use them as a rehydrated thing, I like them. So maybe he likes it that way. Verna says, Dawn, remember Zach used goats to clean around his pond last year? True. Yes, he did. The very narrow strip around the pond. They did a good job. And Dawn grew up with both goats and sheep. Awesome. Hey, Cali Quail Keepers is saying your eggies are on the way. Great guess on Miley's litter. Thank you. So your name is so hard to say, Brooke. Cali Quail Keepers. That is the name of her YouTube channel. Check her out. And she had a doggy, and she put up a video saying, how many babies do you think she's going to have? And people guessed, and the winner got some eggs. So I guessed 12, and there was 12 puppies inside that big dog. I was going to say little dog, big tummy. And so we're going to keep track of those guys hatching. Yay. Brooke also says, taking them outside for first time tomorrow, potty training begins. Oh my gosh, you have your hands full already, and you're going to have your hands full even more. Good luck, Brooke. Jasmine says, goats love to eat poison ivy. Rent them. Yeah, exactly. Andy Rabbit said, if I did ice bottles and all that, I would have most likely lost my rabbits about 3 times in 1 month. Last summer, the first triple crazy things happened. Broke down, town fire, water line broke. Oh, wow. Lots of things happened. You're right. Wow. Yeah, that's yeah. I did lose Zeddy last year. Zeddy was a breeder rabbit, and she did pass the day I got home. The day after, the day of. I think it was the day I got home from QuailCon is the day she passed, and yeah, that sucked. But it was heat. I'm sure it was heat related. And Manuel had gone out and checked on her and given her a water bottle and all that, and it wasn't enough. Landry says, I have pigs, but my yard isn't fenced in yet. Well, your neighbors have pigs then. That's how I see. That's what I heard. Oh, Aaron's got a solution for you, Brad. It says, I'll message Olivia to let you get goats. Awesome. Hopefully you'll get goats. Yeah, so many people here rent goats for brush clearing. I wonder if that's more of a Western state thing than a Midwest thing. Midwest people tell us if it is or not, because it's kind of, I don't know if it's common, but people know about it, that goats get rented for at least fire control. Yeah, let's know. Yeah, get the poultry fence from Premier One, solar operated. Yeah, I think They have pig fence too, specific for pigs, and I'm not sure what works for goats. I'm not a goat person. No, I mean, goats are cute. I like them, but I don't have them. Andy Rabbit says, Katrina, I'll message you on Facebook. I don't think you know who I am there. I might not. Go for it. Aaron says, we don't have anyone local that rents goats. Brad, you can start a goat business. Not a bad idea. Yeah. Verna says, oh, the pear tree near me that I harvest every year is full of blooms. Awesome. Mine, I don't know if it still has blooms. I think it might have the tail end of its blooms. Pears bloom pretty early here. Right now, I'm not even sure if the peach tree out there still has blossoms. It might have some. The one in the front has a few, like they're kind of dried up. The cherries are blooming right now, though. So that's what's going on here. And the other apple, if you guys saw the video this morning, the other apple is blooming, and I was going to graft that. So I might still try and graft it. It's a little late, but I might still try and graft it. Yeah, because I want some better apples than what I have. Jasmine's laughing at Aaron. And Brad says, don't tempt me, Aaron. You know how I go from 0 to 100 on animals. Yeah, goat math is a slippery slope. Jasmine, I think animal math is a slippery slope. It's all in there. Kelly Quailkeepers had a suggestion for cherry tomatoes. I love the Camp Joy cherry tomato here a few years ago. Also, Japanese black trifle. Very cool. Brenna says, Jasmine, you say goat math is as bad as quail math? And she says, pretty darn close. 2 + 2 = 100. Easier to house 100 quail than it is to house 100 goats. JJ's look, you're going to end up with so many different kinds of tomatoes from everybody. Aaron says, Verna, I bet we can eat good on a goat. Sorry, Jasmine, everything here is edible. I think Jasmine is good on eating meat. Maybe not your favorite ones, right? Vase Place says, oh, heck yeah, Aaron. Vase Place says, I am not allergic to poison ivy or poison oak. I do not believe I am either. However, I heard a story from someone that said she wasn't, and she was never allergic. And then her dog went missing, and she had there's property behind her, and she went to go find it, and it had fallen down a crevice, and she had to go hacking through the poison oak and to get to her dog, and she got him out and got out, and it got into her bloodstream because she was getting scratched up, and she was in the hospital for about a week, and her dog didn't make it. But so that would be a warning against being brazen around poison oak and poison ivy. So is that if it gets in your bloodstream, you might have a different reaction. And then also, doesn't mean other people who, touch the door that you touched or whatever don't get it. Yeah. Brooke, you're in 9B. I'm in 9B. I thought you were in 8 or 7. Interesting. Ed's also not allergic to poison ivy. I think Ed and Verna are volunteering to go tear out your poison ivy, Brad. PJ says, my goats give me milk, but if need be, meat too. Yep. Javin says, Aaron, I ain't above eating my goats. I told you. Everything on our homestead must have a dual or multi-purpose, usually include food on the table. Yep. Verna says, PJ, if you get too many bucks, then you can have meat just like quail roos. Exactly. Oh, JJ, they can't even be on the property, but should allow for temporary time. I wonder if they don't belong to you, if they can be on your property. I mean, I know someone that there was bison that were raised nearby, and they opened their back door and there was a bison standing in their backyard, but it wasn't their bison. The bison got out. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, some of these regulations don't make sense. Brooke says, Jasmine, you got it. Nothing is above the table. Yep. PJ sold all our extras. Well, there you go. There you go. That'll help you raise the ones you have. I agree with Vase Place. That is great. And JJ's in zone 6. Andy Rabbit says, I'm at the mindset anymore. If it don't or can't feed me plant or animal, I don't need to come home. It doesn't need to come home with me. Yeah. Yep. Oh, Vase Place is putting a qualifier on it. Exactly, Andy, except for Lucy. LOL. Yep. Aaron says, the only thing we have around here just for looks is me. All right, Aaron. Kelly Quail Keeper says, JJ, are you starting seeds now? Go for it. Yes, start seeds now. My tomatoes are about this tall now. Some of them are this tall, but my tomatoes are about that tall right now from the soil level. So that's good. I was just going to wait a little bit to see what the weather does because it's been ridiculous. I also don't want to plant in 85-degree weather. Yeah. Pretty interesting, this weather we're having. Let me go grab my boots, Verna says. JJ says, yep, it's time to start tomato and pepper. I'm already growing cold crops in the garden. Awesome. Brad says, Gidros, come get your husband. And he says, animals need to poop and make fertilizer also. Yes. Awesome. Oh, and protect livestock. Yeah. So talk about livestock guardian dogs or geese or something that protects livestock. Oh boy, laughing. JJ says tomato, peppercorn, beans go outside mid-May to June. Yeah, I'm wanting to plant out my green beans. I've wanted to for a while, and I keep hanging back because I don't know what's going on with this weather. I might do it. I don't know. And it says clot 45. I don't know what that means. Ed says, I believe they are RFID tags. Talk about the fish. I know tags were used. I might be using old language because that's when I knew what was happening. They might have upgraded things since then. It's very possible. Yeah. Kelly Quail Keeper says, Katrina, I adore you. Oh, thank you for your info on the fishing ecosystems and sustenance. You're welcome. I like to share what I know. And yeah, it's an interesting system out there. Diamond Timber says, exactly, V. My not lifeguard. They're not lifeguards. Livestock guardian dogs are off the menu forever. They protect the animals I raise for food, and they make wonderful companions. Are you knitting any sweaters? Are you going to save their fluff for sweaters or anything? There's more use right there. Vase Place says, or make a tomato powder to thicken your chili in winter, or to make tomato paste. Yeah, you could do that. I know people. I don't do this, but when people can tomatoes, they de-seed and de-skin all that, and you can use separator. And then some people dry those leftovers and powder that and use that as a thickening and a flavor agent as well. So there we go. Ditto. Aw, thanks, JJ. Tomato power is awesome. 100. Andy Rabbit says there's a lot of flavor in that. Something else you could do if you're making a broth, if you're making a stock, is that you can actually, instead of taking out the vegetables, you can blend that in, and it makes it taste more creamy, but it's not thick. So it would still be canned underneath. If you're canning it, it would still be canned underneath the like vegetable stock. With it has vegetables in it, but it's yeah, or can it like a soup is what you do. Is can it like a soup, but it's a fun flavor. It adds a little bit more thickness, and it adds more flavor than just boiling it and taking it out. Yeah. But I've done that and taken it out and then dried those contents and powdered it up as a flavoring as well. So you can use a lot of things. Baseplay says, Jasmine, you see how useful Lucy is. Yep. JJ is agreeing with Andy, and take very little room for storage. There you go. Oh, Jasmine's laughing at Berna. Andy Rabbit says, if I move to more land, I will get a Great Pyrenees again. As long as you train them correctly, they are good doggies. Baseplace says, she protects me, my apartment, the animal room, and keep others entertained. It's a good pup. Oh, yeah. Cali Quail Keepers says, rest in peace, Zeddy. Much love, Bun Bun. Yeah, that was very sad and unexpected, because she had gotten through all of the winter or all of the summer, and then literally the day I get back, after I got back, because he checked on her and then checked on her again, and she had passed. So we did bury her in the wood chip pathway. So I don't know when we're going to dig her up and see. It sounds morbid, but I'm curious to see what all has transpired underground. There we go. That's how we're going to say it. Yeah. Time Timber says, we had 5 goslings hatch over Easter week. How appropriate. They are darling, but all boys except one girl with wry neck due to hatching snafu. Okay. So you hatched out dinner is what you're saying. That's all right. JJ says, mine has quit drooling when she looks at the quail, making progress. How funny. Yeah, that is progress. Andy Rabbit says, hugs, Katrina. Rest in peace, Edie. Thank you. Thank you. She was a sweetheart. She was the one that one time her milk, this is what I have pieced together after the fact, because I wasn't as experienced then. And I pieced it together. I don't even know if I would have thought of it then, because I was just like, what's going on? But I think of it now is, I believe she had a litter last year that her milk didn't come in. And I don't know how common that is for rabbit. It only happened on one litter. And basically I went to check the nest and they were all dead but 2. And I took the dead ones off of the pile, and I think she thought they were all dead. And I picked the 2 up that were on the bottom, and they made a little noise, and she came running over, and I still had my hand in the nest box, and she came running over, plopped herself in there, and she just like kind of bit my finger like this, like, and kind of said, okay, I got it from here, go away. And I think she thought they were all dead. And so she tried her hardest to do what she needed to do. But I think what happened is her milk didn't come in that time. So, yeah, there you go. And I did not realize that was happening. If that's what happened, but they didn't end up making it. But she was a really good mom, and she also like I could tell that she cared about those little babies and was like, okay, I know they're alive now. Thank you. Go away so I can deal with this. And she tried, but yeah, yep. Brooke is asking Jasmine, aren't geese hard to hatch? I got that, Andy. Time Tim. Oop, you guys jumped. You jumped. Hang on. I gotta find you. Oh my gosh, I'm way behind. Time Timber says Midwest is more for invasive weed control and less for brush or fire control. Okay, for the goats, yeah. Oh, Jasmine, I'm sorry. Andy says about the geese. Time Timber says yes. Brooke, goose eggs are a challenge and very time consuming to hatch. Interesting. I've never looked into hatching geese. I wouldn't do that in town. I would do it if it wasn't in town, but not in town. JJ says, my town was a cornfield type town when I moved here. Now it's a snooty, uptight town. I wonder if you would be grandfathered in. Maybe look into that. Base Place says, Katrina, the only apple tree near me is so full of worms, I don't even count it. That's too bad. I wonder if you, like, is it in a place where you could put up apple moth traps? What is the guy's name? Stefan, starts with an S. Look up Permaculture Orchard. He's in Canada, and Stefan is his first name. His last name starts with an S. And he makes a apple, whatever the moth is that affects apple, he makes a trap, I think, out of molasses. I don't remember, but that would, if it's an area that you could just randomly, nobody will care, put it up there and see if you can eat the apples then. Yeah. Stefan, I don't know. If someone knows who I'm talking about, put it in there. I think it's Permaculture Orchards. Time to move. Yeah, I feel you. Truck 3 Warden says, I have heard of the goat rental, but not any in the area. More towards Minnesota, I believe. Yes, Jasmine, for invasive weed control. Yeah. I know California goats travel because there's not much to eat in the summer. I mean, unless it's already thick brown thatch. Yeah. Jasmine says, thanks, Andy. I was so excited for the hatch, but so sad that I won't be able to establish my own heritage goose flock with the ones that hatched. Try again. We know you know how to hatch things. It will happen. Kelly says, Jasmine, great job. If there were anyone who can do it, you. Yep. Base Place says, oh, I have found a few large patches of dead nettle. Cool. Useful plant. Andy Rabbit says, I bought a super sweet 100 cherry tomato today. Yeah, that's the one that I got in my yard, my first original cherry tomato. I may have bought it 2 years in a row, maybe 3, but I didn't really need to because it always comes back. And it's a hybrid, so it's not gonna be guaranteed to come back like true, but it's good enough. A tomato is a tomato sometimes, to some extent. Like I said, I only had one bad experience with tomato. JJ says, I like tiny tomatoes in salads. I am only picking one tiny tomato plant. The rest are paste and, of course, slicing for gifting. Awesome. And Callie Brooks says, Vay, my nettles are coming up. Yum. You can eat them. You can make tea out of them. Just don't get the spikes on your lips. Joy is very allergic to poison oak. Yeah, Joy I will not be going to Brad's place to pull poison ivy. Well, stay away from it and use, a very good dish soap if you think you get into it, because it's a grease cutter, which is oil, so it cuts the oil. And cold shower with like Palm Olive or Dawn, dish soap. Yeah. JJ says, I have dead nettle everywhere. Steeped in oil is very good for elderly skin. Interesting. Baseplate says, I'm not brazen when it comes to poison ivy, etc., as I'm always careful and not get wounds. Yeah. Yep, that's important. Oh, Andy Rabbit says, my granddaughter wants a yellow tomato plant. Pineapple tomato and has a little bit of striping. Grown. Yeah. I'm going to harvest one patch at a time to give to all my animals. That's nice. Nice. Brooke says, Katrina, I can grow anything here except the snow, except for the snow this year. No, Brooke, you grew a lot of snow this year. Yeah. So ordinarily it doesn't snow or doesn't snow much there. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. It would need to be protected if it drops too low, but curry leaf tree, if you like curry leaf tree is something I recommend. If you can grow citrus, you should be able to grow curry leaf. Yeah. Basically says, Brooke, I tried stinging nettle, didn't like it well. Ed says, I wasn't fast enough to get my purple dead nettles before my yard guy took care of them. You got to give him a list of things to keep. You're like, hey, why'd you get that? Why'd you take out that plant that I planted? JJ says, I also have stinging nettle. I love eating it for a spring salad. What does dead nettle do for the animals? I think it's just feed for the animals. It was good sauteed with other root veggies. Okay. Basically says, I know, Brooke, but I would rather use it to feed the animals. Free feed is what she's going after. JJ says, I wait to start my tomato inside because I don't like to take care of them when they get huge while waiting for the weather to clear. Yeah, I'm kind of befuddled. It's a fun word, befuddled. About all of this. Like we literally had frost 2 weeks ago, well past our last frost date, which, I looked at the 10-day forecast and it keeps on saying it was going to be cold, but now it was 83 today. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Don says, my ex-hubby and son and my hubby are now all grew up through adulthood, never got poison ivy. Now they all do. So do you think they never got it because they avoided it or because there were genes that were turned on? Because there are certain genes, like you get white hair. You don't start out with white hair, right? And at a certain age, you start getting white hairs. And I mean, stress induced, right? But it's also a genetic, like it turns on in your genes to say, oh, now it's time to do this, there's a lot of genes that do that at certain ages. I wonder why that would be the case for that. Yeah, interesting. Andy Rabbit says, okay, Don, that's funny. My hubby too. My ex never got either. Vaseplay says, Don, sometimes that happens. Too much exposure to anything can suddenly turn into an allergy. That is true. Yeah. So like I said, with this person who got it in their bloodstream. Yeah. Don says, I picked 6 tomatoes today from the hydroponics. Awesome. I don't think hubby will get his tomatoes out this year or not. So he grows them outside, you grow them inside? Well, you already have tomatoes, so that's pretty awesome. I have a tomato plant that this is going to be its 3rd year. It planted itself. It's outside, right, tucked up against the house by the front door. I don't know what it is. It looks like a non-cherry tomato. It looks like it flowered. It still hasn't given tomatoes. So this will be its third year. We'll see. I'm just leaving it. I'm not watering it or anything, but we'll see what happens. No idea which kind it is. Planted itself. Don says, that is so funny. Hubby got it about 3 years ago and last year both. Wow. Too much alike. Don says, I guess that's why. What they get for pulling it out? Yeah, maybe they were overexposed, or maybe they got it cut in the blood or something. I don't know. Yeah, I just know I don't believe I get it, but I act like I get it, right? Like I don't want to just say, oh yeah, I don't get that. I'm gonna act like I get poison oak because I want to stay out of it, and I don't want to spread it to someone else. Base Place says, I love freeze-dried tomatoes. I use them in place of crackers, and dang, that is good. Sounds good. Don says, too much like a yes. Oh. Oh my gosh. Andy Rabbit says, Verna, my granddaughter will eat dried tomatoes like chips. Yeah, it's funny what you do what happens when people make something crunchy. Dawn says, I love dehydrated tomatoes. I can eat them like candy. And Verna says, you can also freeze dry your veggies from broth to make veggie powder. Yep. Yeah, so I don't have a freeze dryer yet, but I do have dehydrator. And so that's what I did. That's what I've done for that. JJ says, before making tomato powder, I add lemon and salt. Yum. And I do take out seeds and skin with a separator. Yeah. And you're falling behind. Haven't freeze dried anything in a month. Need to finish cleaning it and change the oil in the vacuum pump. Wife wants freeze dried okra and Brussels sprouts. Sounds good. Sounds good. Verna's in the same spot. Andy Rabbit says, I will dry tomato skins to make powder. Yep. Aw. JJ, what are you eyeing? Oh my gosh, nobody's freeze drying anything, huh? Goodness, guys. Freeze dry slackers. Yeah, Verna, I'm with you there. She says, well, I'm trying to do too many things at once. LOL. I am definitely trying to do too many things at once, for sure. And like, I didn't even put out a video last Thursday. I was going to, and I'm just like, I need to get some other stuff done. And I got other stuff done. And leave it at that. And some things will fall. Yeah, JJ says, I hear you, Base Place. Aaron says, Ed, life has stopped because I have to getting ready for QuailCon. Oh boy. Ed says, good reason. Mine is I'm lazy. Oh. No, Aaron, you have to get ready for your NPIP first. Well, there you go. Oh boy. IP? Is that what you are? Place? Oh boy. Base Place has only 17 likes. Well, I got 21 now. So if you liked it, thank you for liking it. Ed says there were 2 likes at 3:10 a.m. Mine was 3. Oh, all right. You guys got on it as soon as I put it up, it sounds like, because 3 o'clock your time is like midnight my time, and it was almost midnight when I put it up finally. I was so busy yesterday, I didn't put it out until later. Base Place says apple tree is down the trail, not allowed, as is behind the fence. You could knock, 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 and see if they want to have better apples. Don says, I thought I was number 3. Maybe I was number 2. Oh my gosh. Hey, Buster's here. Hi to all. Hi, Buster. Welcome. Everybody's saying hi. My connection glitches on and off. Anybody else seeing that? My video froze, but we can hear you just fine. Hopefully I'm back. Let me go. Oh, I'm not glitching for Dawn. Okay. Hopefully we're good now. I know you guys wrote that a while ago. All right. Oh, you guys are having trouble. Hopefully I'm back. All right. Vase Place says, Dawn, she has only done it 3 times, rather quick ones. At one point, her audio and visual did not. Ed says, I had to go out of YouTube and came back to get the video. Okay, hopefully looks good. Oh, Dawn says, I guess I'm looking at the chat too much. Okay. Hopefully I'm back. I'm going to pretend I'm back. Joy says dead nettle is different than stinging nettle. Both are good for you. Awesome. I believe dead nettle is used more medicinally. Is that true or is that not true? Dawn says, I'm moving like a robot now? Okay. You have both. It must be YouTube. I don't know if it's YouTube or not. I'm just hoping it's back. All right. I'm going to skip some of this. Okay. Joy says my goats won't eat dead nettle. Interesting. Vase Place says it could be too sweet for them. And Joy says just leaves more for me. Okay. Hey, Diana's here. Diana Tuttle Top Farms. Hello. Sorry late today. A very nice day. So I cleaned out quail and chicken pens. Exhausted. Hey, it was 83 here today. It was not supposed to be 83. It was supposed to be 75. So I get it. Welcome. Ed says my yard guy's lawnmower eats it just fine. Verna says, Katrina, I have less gray hairs than my daughters do. Oh. People say hi to Diana. JJ says, I won't mind gray hair. I just wish the texture didn't change. Yeah, it gets a little wiry. Yeah. LOL, giant tomato plant. I don't know what we're talking about. It's a while ago. Giant tomato plants, though. Tomato plants can get huge. I had a yellow pear tomato. So on the side of my house, this is several years ago, my neighbor's tomato, it was a yellow pear tomato, and it receded in the crack between our walkways. Like, it's like that big. And that's where it grew from. And it was 17 feet long, 10 feet wide, because that's how wide it is to the house, and 7 feet tall. One tomato that neither one of us was watering, and we were both like walking through our walkways like this to try and get through. We had our little stepping places so we could still harvest, and we were totally sharing this tomato plant that just showed up. So yeah, they can get huge. Oh. Vase Place says, I will be 65 next month. Congratulations. And don't have any more gray hairs than Katrina. I have some, but I started having them at like 16. So there you go. JJ wants Verna's secrets. Andy Rabbit says, when my hair goes gray, I'm going to start dyeing it bright colors like pink, purple, LOL. Yeah, the old, it's like the old person purple color. All the older ladies have like that purple tint. I think it's supposed to be auburn, but when you dye it on gray hair, it's like purpley. And it always is funny because it's like, I always picture them as going, oh my gosh, all those kids with the dyed hair. And then here they have their little purple tinted hair. I think it's so funny. It's cute. My mom actually, she's more white than brown now. But at one point her hair was like salt and pepper, like actually just salt and pepper everywhere. And I remember we were in the grocery store and someone asked her where she got her hair done because she just loved her color. And she's like, oh, this This is natural. Yeah. Yeah, go for it. If you want to dye your hair, go for it. Oh, I was spinning. Okay. Hopefully it's back. It's YouTube. Been watching it. Okay. I always come back. Baby, come back. All right. JJ says, I give up dropped apples to hunters for their feed stations. Okay. Yeah, where that's legal. Sometimes that's not legal. JJ says, oh, okay. So it's a quality issue? I wonder what's going on. My internet's strong. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, guys. If you're having issues seeing it, turn down the quality. We'll still have high quality conversation. Manuel's here. I don't know if you heard him laughing. Hopefully that was a good laugh. It was? Okay. Hey, Erica's here. Welcome, Erica. Incubator with a few eggs. I got 2 turkey poults and 4 chickens over Easter weekend. Awesome. Good job. Good job. Which one was it? JJ says, wow, Dawn, I was at 750 and having trouble, reduced down to 360 and running smooth. There you go. Low tech, high quality. Base Face is saying hi, and that's wonderful to Erica. And Dawn is saying, that is great. I am testing a new one now and we'll set eggs Friday. Awesome. Nice, JJ says. And Andy's also setting eggs with Dawn on Friday. Awesome. JJ says, I'm testing a modification to my old incubator. I think I'm making progress. Awesome. Very nice. And then you guys jumped again. Hang on. I have not even gotten to my topic, but I think we kind of already talked about it. I'm going to talk about it now, though. My topic. So because today got up to 83 degrees and it got so hot, and we had to move the baby bunnies into the screen and porch, and they were panting. They were all like laying out. They weren't in danger, but they were warm. And so how I deal with that is fans, and I do put in ice bottles. I didn't today, but when it gets hotter, I put ice bottles in with them. Now, if you are raising them like Andy Rabbit, and she is selecting for heat tolerance, and she doesn't put the water bottles in there, and that makes sense to me. It's kind of like if it's a hot day and you put on your air conditioning really, really a lot, and then you step outside, you're gonna feel it as hotter than if you just didn't have the air conditioning on or had it at a warmer setting. So that makes sense to me. I'm still gonna do that for my case. The babies definitely, and probably also the mamas. I might keep an eye on the 2 new breeders a little more in that, but my existing breeders, I don't even think they used them much last year. Parmesan cuddles up to his. I think he's just cuddling. I don't think he was cuddling through the cold. And then the other girls, they kind of just like, oh, okay, you put that thing in here. So, yeah, but for the babies, I want that meat. They're meat rabbits, and I want to be able to eat it. Not when they're this big. So that's one thing to start thinking about. And I guess that's what I wanted to say is start thinking about heat. Quail do quite well with heat. They just need shade. It's good if their shade isn't shade. And I use deep litter wood chips, and they will snuggle down in that, and so that they're nice and insulated by the ground and they don't get too hot. So just bring that up, and it'll be a short discussion topic because we already talked partly about that early on. All right, let's see where we are. Erica says we now have 41 chicken eggs in it and 11 turkey eggs in another, so we'll hopefully have a good hatch next month. Awesome. Good luck. Good luck. Dawn says, yes, Friday by noon they will be on after I drink a cup of coffee. No touching eggs before I have coffee. This will be fun. Awesome. You guys are doing your own little challenge. You'll have hatch buddies. I scrolled too far. I did scroll too far. All right. Yes, Dawn, that'll be fun. Okay. Baseplay says, Katrina, I knew an elderly woman who dyed her hair lilac black in the late 50s. Oh, 60s. Wow. Have lazy fingers today? Lilac black. I don't know that color, but it sounds pretty. Dawn says, I just turned it down to 240 and it came right back up after spinning out at 260. Hopefully it's better. Erica says a new one is a little giant, the incubator. Awesome. Andy says she loves her little giant incubator. And Dawn's laughing at, or JJ's laughing at Dawn. All right. Verna says, wow, totally lost her when she started talking about her topic. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry. Heat. I just talked about heat. I want to remind people to start thinking about heat and what they need to set up before real heat gets here. I don't know what's going on with the connection, guys. It says it's fine on my side. Dawn says, Erica, that's a good incubator. I am testing a Barado Lumina and having humidity issues with it. It like Florida people with high humidity. Oh, it likes Florida people with high humidity, not Illinois people with low humidity. Okay. Dawn says, isn't that crazy? I didn't think it would even run on 240. Oh my gosh. I'm a blur. Hopefully I'm not a blur. I'm hoping that some people are seeing stuff. Dawn said, you have such great hatches with a little giant. I should have just sent this Brado back and got one of those. 6 days left to decide. Well, I have not had one of those, so I cannot pass on anything about that. Baseplay says quail also need air movement when it's hot. Yep. And my aviaries get that. In a cage system, they might not. So that's important. Andy says, yeah, I do have a pretty good hatch rate from the little giant. Oh boy. Blurry, huh? I'm sorry. Baseplay says, I have my share eggs in my little giant that go into lockdown a week from tomorrow. Good luck. Oh, Verna, you really aren't typing tonight, are you? Lilac back in the late. Back then. How about that? 50s, 60s. Andy Rabbit says, my rabbit shed, I have fans in there to move the air. Still air is too hot. It just blows through the shed, not really on the rabbits. It's just circulating the air, right? Yeah. And Verna says, exactly, Andy, mine is on the floor, aimed towards the ceiling. That's good. For me, I did it fine for me. Dawn says, oh, Katrina, we think it is YouTube. Don't worry, we are complaining. What we see is really okay. Your voice comes in pretty darn good. Good. Okay. All right, we're good then. Joy says, I love my little giant. Just bought another one. And Andy Rabbit has 3 of them. Oh, JJ. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. The blurrier Katrina gets, the younger she looks. Dawn says, for the little giant and quail eggs, do you use the rails that come with it, or do they make quail rails? I think they make quail rails, but somebody who has it can answer better. I think it's the same thing that fits the Huffabator, which is what I have. Erica said, I started with Nurture Right 360 for my quail. Got the little giant for chicken eggs. Okay. I think that whole thing fits in, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you can buy the quail racks, Verna says. Quail rails. They do make quail rails. Yeah. I knew they did. I just didn't. I think it's the same size, though. Oh, they don't fit. Verna says she tried. Hoverbaiter rails don't fit Little Giant. I know. LOL, I tried. Well, they look like they should. Maybe they should. Maybe they should think about this and make it interchangeable. Maybe they have thought about it, and that's why they're not. Yes, Andy Rabbit. The Hoverbaiter Turner is yellow. If you've seen in my videos, the only Turner I have is yellow. I only have one incubator. Yeah. It's yellow and it has 6 rows, and yeah, Little Giant is white. I've seen theirs, yeah. But it has 6 rows, and if you want larger eggs to fit in there without cracking, because what will happen is they'll turn and they'll like bump into the next thing, is you can take, at least in the one for Hoverbaiter, I do not know if the same is true for Little Giant, but you can take out one of them and move things over, and there's like already a hole for that, and then you can have only 100 in there instead of 120, which for me is fine. I'd have no need to hatch 100, put in 120. 100 is fine for what I do. So yeah. Dawn says, okay, I'll look. Thank you all. I finished this work around tomorrow. 4-day lockdown simulation, and if it fails tonight, I will probably send it back. Otherwise, I have made it to get up to the proper humidity. Okay. So you tested it out enough. That's good. Andy Rabbit says the yellow one I bought at the yard sale fits in my Little Giant Turner. I don't know. It's over there though. Yeah. 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 So Verna's saying the same thing that I just says. Take one rail out for both types and rearrange the rails. So it works in the Little Giant as well. Yeah. Okay. Dawn's tested it for 5 days now. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it works well. Oh, it's a Little Giant's Turner that doesn't fit in the Hoverbaiter, but the Hoverbaiter's fits in Little Giant. Is that what I'm hearing? So Hoverbaiter is slightly bigger? Interesting. Or Little Giant is slightly bigger. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, it's somewhat interchangeable then. But if you have 2 incubators, you might have them both at the same time. So you might as well get another Turner, right? All right. Yeah, you have Turners for both. Yep. So do you guys have anything to say with heat to add to that, to what I said, to what Verna said, and what Andy Rabbit does with her rabbits? If there's anything else heat wise that you guys do, I know I need to turn on the water because I haven't turned on the outdoor water yet. And things are going to get crispy if I don't do that. And he says one of the rails was broke in the yellow one, so I put the Little Giant rail in the yellow Turner. I misplaced the white rail, so I put a yellow one in in my Giant Turner. So the rails are interchangeable. Interesting. Yeah, Don, that's right. You would search for hoverbaiter quail rails for the little giant. You wouldn't search for hoverbaiter quail rails. You would search for the little giant one. So whatever little giant has. Um, yeah. And Verna says, I have little giant, a hoverbaiter, a farm innovators, and a little known type of incubator. Yeah, so Face Place is saying the same thing. Is I would just buy the little giant quail rails. Yeah. Dawn says, I just found little giant quail rails. Do jumbo eggs work in them? So any of them should work, um, if you can space them out. So I think the key is to see if you can tilt them. You might have to turn on and wait 4 hours for it to tilt, but um, tilt them and see if they're like this, then they're going to crack potentially. But if they have the space, then they are wide enough. So yeah, sometimes you got to skip a spot on them, Don. Andy is saying, yeah. Yeah, so what I literally did is I took out actually, it's just sitting over here. I should go get it. Just a minute. Just a minute. Oop. Well, I knocked on my light. Hang on, guys. Technical difficulties. All right. So, I have a hoverbaiter, and that is the one I have. And it comes with 6 rails, but I took one out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 20, it fits 100 now. But there used to be one more, and they were really squished. And you can see how there's extra holes. I don't know if they thought about that and they pre-placed them, or um, or not. But you can take these out and move them around. And to do that, it looks like you're going to break it. See if I can do it. Hopefully I'm not fading out right now. But to do that, you literally just like pull this piece, and it disconnects, and then you can move them and then take them out and move them. So there's your tutorial. There you go. That's what I did. Props are always nice, right? Um, all right. Dawn says, I just found little giant quail rails. Do jumbo eggs work in them? Okay, we already said that. Andy Rabbit says, I went to Tractor Supply and bought a little giant turner the day I set my eggs before I went to Texas. Oh, wow. Vase Place says, I don't think my little giant is adjustable. Dawn says, that is cool, Katrina. Yeah, it is cool. And I figured it was over there. I might as well just show you guys. But you can, it took me forever to figure out that you just literally pop it off, because the instructions that come with it don't really, it's not intuitive that that's what you're supposed to do. Andy Rabbit says, that looks a lot like my yellow one I have. It might be. Is that the one you got secondhand? It doesn't have a sticker on it maybe anymore. Yeah, it says hoverbaiter, automatic turner. Yeah. And Vase Place says yellow is usually a hoverbaiter. Yeah. So there you go. People who left didn't get to see the show and tell. Andy Rabbit says, I don't know how old the yard sale incubators and Turner is no electric on them. The Turner is not electric? Interesting. I don't know how that works then. Once this is disconnected, just so you guys know, once this is disconnected and you take these out, move them around, whatever, they all have to be facing exactly the same way. And this has to go into them, like put it sideways. And then they all have to be like that. Okay. Then you turn it and then just snap it back on. So now I can't move it again. So it's literally just snapping and unsnapping that right there. Hopefully that was helpful. Oh, okay. Electric to plug in, but not display. This doesn't have display either. This is just the motor. There's no display. It's a sticker. Yeah. Werner says, my farm innovator's Turner motor burned out. I used it to hand turn my eggs. Okay. So you just went in there and turned it with the little thing the motor would have turned. That's a good idea. That's a good alternative. You took the motor off. Yeah. Don says it was helpful, Katrina. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it took me forever. When I was trying to figure that out, I'm like, why the heck am I cracking eggs? I'm just going to take one out, see if they all fit, with 5 instead of 6 rails. And I mean, because my situation, I don't need to put in 120 eggs, right? Like 100 is fine. If I hatch, 60 or 70, that's fine, yeah. So it took me forever to figure that out, though. Now you've learned from my experience. Andy Rabbit says, I have to hand turn eggs. I just open it and roll my hand over the eggs in a big circle. I think that's what a lot of people do, that hand turn them. You just go like this. And that probably gets most of them okay. I don't know. I mean, I just know the ones that raise their own, some of them turn them like heck. And they're just like, are you scrambling your babies? Maybe they are. Maybe that's why they're not as successful. There is a mama. I did check on her yesterday, the one in the nest box. She's still there. I don't know when she started sitting, but I'm just letting her go. And a whole bunch of other eggs are being laid in the nest box. I'm just not touching the ones in the nest box. And whatever happens in there happens in there. And I'm hoping that she has babies. Ed says, if I had to hand turn eggs, they wouldn't get turned. Yeah, it's kind of like automatic water in a garden, right? Automatic water is the lifesaver. Verna says, when you have a turner with a burned out motor, just remove the motor and just barely touch the quail rail to turn them. Yeah. And Ed counters with, you can get a motor. They're cheap. Well, sometimes cheap is not an option. And sometimes time is what needs to happen. It needs to happen now. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, my yellow one will only hold 60 eggs because the turning bar broke 1.5. Interesting. Don says, I have a hard time remembering to tilt the eggs I am saving to incubate twice a day. Yeah. If you are doing that, you can do what I do and just set them in here and just turn it on. So like if you're collecting your own eggs, just put them in your outside the incubator and just on the table or whatever. And as you're collecting them, putting them in, and you can turn it on and not be in the incubator, and do it that way. Verna says, Ed, I couldn't do that when my eggs were in the incubator. That's true. Dawn only turned them once a day, lol, when I gather the eggs. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, oh, wait, Dawn, we need to turn them before? So people say, I mean, I do this as well, but people say that you should be moving your eggs. If you collect over several days, then they should be moved just so that they don't stick. Same reasoning for the incubator, so that they don't stick. But I don't know how necessary that is because they're not growing yet, but I do it. And the only reason to let the ones settle from the male is because they have presumably gotten shaken up and they do need to sit for that air bubble to raise to the top. So presumably you're not shaking your eggs that you're getting from your own birds. Yeah. Dawn says, I know you are rubbing in your great hatch rates without turning them, lol. I don't have good luck. Yeah, you're having good hatch rates, and keep doing what you're doing. JJ says, I didn't know that either. Yeah, that's what I've been told, and I don't know how much of a difference it would make. That's what I've been told. But you can, regardless, when you collect, you can still put it in your quail rails already, and then just put it in the incubator all together. You just pick it up and put it in when it's time. Yeah. And Base Play says, that is what I did, Katrina, when I was getting 58. Yeah. Base Play says, JJ, perhaps you should use Katrina's link for Quail University. Let me put that in here. I did copy it. So I do have an affiliate link for Quail University. Just gives me a little bit of a kickback. And it's also in all of my descriptions now. I added that to all my descriptions in the videos, so it should be in every video now. But here it is on the chat. Thank you, Verna. Andy Rabbit says, I'm going to do a hatch of no turning them during a hatch at all sometime. Okay, you're gonna compare and see what works best. Let us know how that works. Dawn says, no, you aren't. LOL. No, I'm not shaking them. I put them in foam trays and egg orders and tilt twice a day. No, we don't want to scramble them. Just tilting them. JJ says, I'm already signed up. Just haven't finished the course. Awesome. Andy Rabbit says, my luck, I would drop it. I actually put this on the floor under the table. Now that's not going to work if you have a dog that likes eggs. But that's where I incubate, is underneath the table, so that it doesn't get influence of the fan. I can still have air moving, but it's not, on the incubator. So, yeah. Oh, it's shown under my picture. Cool. I don't see what you guys see, so I know it's in the description. Yeah. Thank you. Dawn says, well, I have to get offline for the night. It's way past 9 p.m., but this was great tonight. Everyone have a good night. Good night, Dawn. Thank you for coming and being involved. Joy says, you could just put the turner in the incubator and plug the turner in, but not in the incubator. You could do that. Yeah, I like to get my incubator up to temperature before I put the eggs in. I don't know what other people do. But that's what I do because I know that that would be like mom coming over and sitting down on the eggs. And I don't know what other people do though. What do you guys do? Yeah. People saying good night to Dawn. JJ says, so far Quail University is well worth it. Awesome. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Erica says, haven't signed up for Quail University yet. Had to choose between that and QuailCon, so have to do Quail University next month. Awesome. Well, if you use my affiliate link, I would appreciate it. And like I said, it's in all the videos in the descriptions. And it's a really great course, guys. It's really great. Baseplay says Yusuf did that recently, did a no turn, and was very disappointed on the results. Yeah, he did. He did. Andy Rabbit says, I have to have a reason to hatch sometimes. Testing is fun too. Everybody's saying good night, Dawn, and blessings. JJ says, I have to cook hubby's lunch for tomorrow, so I'll be up late tonight. Uh-oh. Well, good luck. Baseplay says, I sit the turner on top of the incubator while the incubator is being tested. Yeah. You'll think about it. Thanks, Erica. Yeah. Well, it looks like we lost Dawn already. She went to bed. It might be time to skedaddle. Hope you guys are having a good night. We had some good conversation. So that's good. Anything else you guys want to discuss before we go? Last chance. 10:52 here right now, Baseplay says. Ed says, well, I guess I'll go make my lunch / dinner if everyone is leaving. Yeah, you started at 9 p.m. your time. I know, it's late. I also know you stay up late. JJ says, thank you for the live and company. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. All right. Well, thank you guys. I enjoyed tonight, and I always do. And have a great week. Sometimes you don't go to bed. That's not good. Have a great week, and we will see you next Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And have a wonderful night, guys. Thanks for watching.